So we've seen two folks start with a good joke about the risk of letting them talk. One was a practicing lawyer and a clergy, and one was a recovering politician. But I think I've got them beat. I am a recovering lawyer and a current college president.
Heaven help.
First, just let me say thank you to everyone who made comments today. My kids would never believe any of those things. And I've got evidence now that at least some folks believe those things. But you've all dedicated time to saying nice things about me on behalf of Western Michigan University. Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Mr. President, trustees, my teammates, my fellow students, and I say fellow students because I still see myself as a Bronco student. I'll always see myself as a resident. As a resident of Ackley Hall on the top floor, one of those special rooms where you only had two people in the room. Anybody ever had one of those? They were there in the corner. Alumnus, friends of our beloved university, I just want to say thank you. This is a really, really important day for me. And it made me think about something that I heard recently that somewhat summed up what I think most of us know about Western Michigan University. You all probably don't remember this because you were at the game in St. Louis, but those of us who were watching it on TV, at the end of the last period when the horn sounded, the announcer, and I don't know really how he knew this, but the announcer exclaimed, and you know, this is the end of the game where people say things that they want to be remembered. Does anybody remember what that announcer said? I wrote it down. It was so remarkable. And I'm not surprised the Vice President of Athletics remembered it. But I'm surprised that you were listening to it. The announcer exclaimed, and he yelled it, because the arena had just been overjoyed with this idea that this upstart team from Kalamazoo had just won their first national championship in the program ever, but in the last 60 years for the institution. And the announcer said, and I quote, "There are no bad days ever in Kalamazoo." And it just struck me. And I started thinking about it. And here's what I think he meant. And here's what I think we know. It's not literal. I mean, no one thinks that there are no bad days anywhere. I think what the announcer knew, that we knew is, and that what I know from being from this place, from being from WMU, that the arc of our time here, from positives and negatives, from learning and struggling, and from achieving and then having sadness, that's the arc that there's never a bad day in Kalamazoo or WMU. That's what's special about this place. I know that because I've lived it. I know that because my family has lived it. So I think that encapsulates why I'm here. I know why this place is special. And it's worth looking over one's shoulder when you get to something like this. Where have you come from? So I want to give you a little insight into where I've come from. I want to take stock of why this is really a pinch me moment. My dad introduced me to this place, driving me to Lawson when I was 6 years old, and he was an immigrant. I'm not sure that either of us knew the rules of hockey, but we kept going to Lawson, and it was exciting. And he told me, basically, this is a place I want you to go to college, and it will expand your horizons, just like so many other people, and like it did for him. And that's true for me. And then for the next several years, I got to know Kalamazoo. My dad would take me to his brother's shoe store, Oaken Brothers. Anybody ever remember Oaken Brothers? My dad, it was a big deal. You got to buy new shoes once a year at Oaken Bros, where my dad was Ed, and they were immigrants, so he had a brother Ed. One was Eduardo, and one was Edison. And Eduardo was my dad, and we'd go see Uncle Edison, and we'd get a new pair of shoes. I played Gus Macker basketball on the streets of this town. I know this town because I lived here. I grew up here. I was born in Bronson Hospital, where my mom worked. And so this is where I went to college. And this is where I learned to fly airplanes. I had the privilege to teach others how to fly airplanes. And I started an idea that I might be able to be a leader because I could see leaders around me. And I wanted to be like great leaders. And I wanted to learn from bad leaders. And I wanted to get on a track of leadership. And so that's where almost every single part of my life that is positive or redeemable originates in Kalamazoo or Western Michigan University. And so this is the reason why the things you're saying to me about coming home mean so much to me. I also think it's worth looking back over the shoulder of this institution. 122 years ago, we started. Generations of people have come through this institution and have found better lives. I know it, I've felt it. I know it, I can see my parents having done it. My cousin is sitting here and I know that happened to her. And her daughter, who got married in the campus, what was it, just 6 months ago? I know it because I live next door to Larry Ulmer, who I can see there, who was one of our All-American football players and was a physician in our community for a long time. I know that this institution has been the gateway for a progress mission for all of humanity. That's the beautiful, wonderful thing about Western Michigan University. And this is the reason why I asked to be your president. Because I have seen the motto of, so that all may learn. I know it, and I'm so passionate about it. And I know we're in a time when higher education deserves someone to advocate for them. And that's what I enjoy doing, is taking a cause for people who are frankly smarter and better than me and advocating for their cause. One person that's been doing that really well is my friend Ed Montgomery. Trustees, you may not know this, but Trustee Montgomery and I met in 2017. He stole a little bit of the thunder of my story in telling, but I met with him again today, and he handed me a photograph, because this is just the kind of leader he was and is. He cared about me. In 2017, when he started here, I asked him to be my mentor. I said, I think I might want to be able to become a leader in higher education. And I was lucky enough to be promoted to be the president of Henry Ford College, which is more than 2 hours away. And I asked President Montgomery to be there, and he drove, and he showed up. And I asked a lot of people from Southwest Michigan. Some showed up, but one major player showed up, and he kept a picture of it. And he gave that picture to me today. And I look a little less wise, a little less gray, but this is the person that I'm proud to follow, because if you didn't know it, he just recently told this team, we have to be a top 3 public university in the state of Michigan, and we have to do it by 2032. But like the hockey team, he's going to get way ahead of the new president, because my understanding is that ranking, which is based on the idea that we are producing public leaders, that we've been named twice in the top 25 by Time magazine. 2032 will happen a ways away, but my understanding is, President Montgomery, under your leadership, we will meet our mark in the coming fall. Congratulations to President Montgomery. We've also had extraordinary development in our attempts to show that we can answer today's problems for tomorrow's society. That's also known as public research. This leader has devoted a ton of time and a ton of resources, hired leaders in this institution, and just last year, $59 million of research allocation came to this institution. You see, these are the types of things that folks need to know about higher education, but particularly the best university in the state of Michigan. That's Western Michigan University. We are growing research, we are answering tomorrow's questions, and we are staying true to our identity, which is being a teacher/scholar institution. We are proud of the teaching and learning and experiential learning that pilots and teachers like those in my family understand. But we are also so proud to partner with industry and government and nonprofits to answer tomorrow's problems in science and health and technology. We also like winning on sports teams. And we're getting really good at that, President Montgomery. I told you the little story that was remarkable to me that you all saw in St. Louis. But that's not the only national championship team recently. As you know, the Bronco dance team, the women's figure skating team, and WIDR are all also national champions. Bronco Nation is strong. Bronco Nation is proud. In fact, we have a wonderful foundation. Our floor is solid, but we have no ceiling. We have the chance to take on today's challenges. And you're right, colleagues. You're right, President Noggle. Higher education does have its challenges today. But if you're from Western, if you've ever been in a cockpit or a courtroom or a boardroom, you know challenges are opportunities. Challenges are opportunities to learn and grow. Heck, that's what we're here for. To use challenges to learn and step back and fail and then grow and improve. This is what we will do and we will continue to do at Western Michigan University. We will not shirk from anyone criticizing and questioning our value. We'll stand up and I'll be your advocate in every single room that I can get in. And I will tell them of your work and your worth and our students' value. And the data is behind us. We solve real problems. We prepare students for meaningful careers and meaningful lives. We're an accessible institution, and we're not going to run from that. That means if you want to have a better life through public education, like I got a chance to have, your home is Western Michigan University, whether it's in Detroit or Grand Rapids or Traverse City, the same is available to you here. And we're not scared to say that diverse groups of people make better decisions. This is what the modern university should be able to say. This is what we have always been able to say, and if I can bring anything unique to this table, it'll be as your advocate to continue to tell our story, which is remarkable. And when we do that, we can be the future of higher education, which is this place where K-12 and industry and government and nonprofit come together to be with us in wonderful buildings like this right here, where we are the node for the future, where we are the place where we talk about and are curious about different religions and races and ideas, because we can come together and make stronger communities and make stronger environments and make stronger industry. This is what the future of higher education will be, and it is what we're primed to achieve. The last thing I'll just say is what the president remarked on his journey and student success. It's so resonant to me. You know, I was an average student in high school. My mom, who's here, basically made me go to college. But it's Western who opened up this idea. Someone mentioned unlocking potential. It's Western that told me and showed me I can be like that leader. I can get interested in people who are different than my background. This place where we come together and we change lives, this is the node where we can gravitate people to us and make not only Kalamazoo, not only Michigan, we can be the national leader for dealing with these difficult problems we're all facing. There are so many voices trying to make us dislike and distrust and frankly hate each other. At this campus, we can show that listening and working together with people of good intention is the answer that we can provide and scale across the country. And I'm not telling you that because I learned that overnight. I'm telling you that because it works in the cockpit. It works in the courtroom. It works in your kitchen table. It will work in government. And that's what Western Michigan University has always been, and that is the foundation that we will continue to build. And that's why I asked, and I'm so grateful to have your support, to be your president. The last thing I'll just say is, President Kasperzak, where are you? I promised I'd get through this speech without tearing up, but when you said he loves this institution, it hit me. I do love this institution. I can't promise you I'll make all the right choices. I can promise you I will work as hard as every single one of you. You will never have to wonder if I'm being honest with you, And I can promise you, no one will love this institution more than you do, except for me. Thank you for letting me be here. I can't wait to get started. Go Broncos.